Following the story of the people of Israel is a bit like a roller coaster. There are ups and downs. After the disappointment of Saul was the success of David, who loved God and led the country well despite serious sin. David had been king for 40 years and he was getting old and became ill. But before he died, he spoke to his son, Solomon, who would become king after him. He said, "I'm about to die. But be strong, obey God and keep his commands as written in the law of Moses. He said to me, if your descendants walk faithfully before me with all their heart and soul, someone from the line of David will always be king." God had come to King Solomon in a dream and asked what it was that he would want from God. I wonder what you'd ask for. Solomon asked for wisdom. Now, to be wise is not just to be very clever and know lots of things, but it's to be able to rightly choose what to do in difficult situations in a way that pleases God. God was so pleased he asked for wisdom. Now once, there were two women who lived in the same house. Each woman had a baby, and at night the babies would sleep in the same bed as their mothers. One night, while the women were sleeping, the first woman accidentally rolled over on top of her baby. Sadly, her baby died. But the woman decided to sneak into the second woman's room and switch the babies. When the second mother woke up, she found the dead baby beside her in the bed. At first, she thought it was her baby that was dead, but then she realized that she had been tricked. The two women went to wise King Solomon. The second woman told him what had happened. She said, "It's my baby. I want my baby back." The other mother said, "No, it's my baby. You can't have it." Everyone looked to Solomon. How could he ever know which woman the baby belonged to? But remember, God gave Solomon special wisdom. He had an idea for finding out the truth. He ordered one of his servants to bring him a sword. Then Solomon said, "I order that the baby be cut in half." The first woman said, "Well, that's fair. That way neither of us will have more than the other." But the other woman shouted, "No, you mustn't cut the baby in half. I love the baby too much to see it hurt. I would rather the other woman have my baby than have him die." Solomon had done a very wise thing. He knew which one of these was the real mother and which was not now. A mother loves her baby very much and would never want it hurt. Solomon gave the baby to its true mother. Everyone saw that Solomon really was wise. Everyone knew that God had given him special wisdom. People came from far and wide to ask for his advice. They all saw that God had given this man wisdom. Solomon wrote down many of the wise things in a book of the Bible called Proverbs. Here are two examples of these wise sayings. In the same way water reflects the face, someone's life reflects their heart. He who trusts in his riches will fall, but the righteous will flourish like the green leaf. As well as writing these things down, he assembled a group that mined for gold, chopped trees and carved beautiful stones in order to build a temple so that the people could worship God. Solomon seemed to be a greater king than his father David even. What could go wrong? Well, Solomon's big mistake was who he married. He married Pharaoh's daughter. This was, of course, a different Pharaoh to the one who we met when Moses had been in Egypt. God told his people not to marry women from other countries as they had worshipped idols. But did Solomon listen? No, he married many women from different countries, and as the world's most powerful man, he could do as he pleased. But these women took Solomon's eyes away from God and toward the idols that they worshipped. God said that he would punish Solomon by taking away the kingdom from him. He had been very wise, and his words are still helpful to read today, but in following the false gods of his wives, he had left the country in a mess.